Good afternoon. This is Elena from Bergamo. And this afternoon, it's Friday. Yes, it's not Saturday, but we decided to meet one day before for a special occasion. We are going to do pizza. So today, Friday, we are going to prepare the dough. There is a dough that we would like to rest living for 24 hours, 26, 27 hours. So this is the secrets for our dough today.
Elena, hello everybody. This is Livia from Brazil. Elena, I already have a question. You said this is called Bonti Pizza. Bonti, what's the name? Bonti.
Gabriele Bonci. I mean, it's. I think that a lot of people know him better than me. I mean, it's famous one man that used to prepare pizza and with this long living time. And the kind of pizza that he used to prepare is called pizza romana alla teglia. It means it's not the typical round pizza, one dish, but it's the big teglia. It means this kind of size. And it's different from other type of Italian pizza because pizza romana is quite thin, and this Bonci recipe make a great thin pizza that it's not heavy for your stomach. So this Bonci is a great man because find a way to make a dough that it's a good dough.
Cool. Let's do it then. What are you going to need? So flour, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, the so beautiful thing about making the dough is that thing that there will be always a different dough, starting from a different day, starting from a different flour, starting from a different yeast. So every time would be different, and this is a good thing. Don't think that if the dough is not like the first time, the second time will be better maybe. So this time I will use wet flour. I was speaking about the W factor. I'm not a baking expert, so don't know what is W. But important to do a 24 hours long living dough is to have a W factor bigger than 250. So when you buy a flour, you should find that information on the package. If not,
I don't think my Brazilian flour doesn't have this. I'm using this brand because my friend Catherine, that already showed here in Saturday Food Fever, she loves to make bread, and she said that this brand is a good brand, Brazilian flour that makes the bread. So I'm trusting that it's a good flour for pizza as well.
yes, this is, I mean, it should be wet flour. And normally all the wet flour has minimum W factor 250. You can choose also some other wet flour like Manitoba that arrives at 460, 480. But I think that as a first time to making the pizza dough, it was easier to use that wet flour that is common for everybody to find. Okay, so
Wet flour,
500
wheat
grams.
flour, you mean wheat flour?
Wheat.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. You are speaking with Elena from Bombay. It was not a racist joke. So 500 grams wheat flour.
I'm gonna make double, so 1 kilo.
Exactly. 6 grams of what we call lievito di birra.
This is like the fresh yeast, right?
It's like a dried fresh yeast. I mean, can you see it right now? It's like powder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fresh, but when you touch it, it becomes like a powder.
We have
It's
it
what we
in
call the
Brazil.
lievito di birra. It's something strange because when I tried to find the translation, it was like birra yeast, but it's not something that you can understand what I'm meaning. So, beer
Yeah,
yeast.
I have here massa madre, which is the natural fermentation yeast. You said I can use it as well, right? Or
Exactly.
sourdough. So it's quite full of bubbles. It wants to eat.
And in case you have dried yeast, you must use 1 grams each 500 grams of flour. Okay, so remember the quantity of the yeast: 6 gram fresh lievito di birra, 1 grams dried lievito di birra or dried yeast. Okay, so these are the quantity. With Livia, we decided to take a Russian roulette, and we did half the quantity of the mother yeast and 1 kilo of flour.
Yeah, it must be 2 spoons. But if I'm making 1 kilo, I'm gonna make this full amount of yeast.
Yes. Then we are going to
Thank you,
use
Catherine, for giving me this.
350 milliliters of water, we said before. So Livia, for you is 700 milliliters. 1 spoon of olive oil and salt. So if everybody are ready, I will start putting the the flour inside the big pan.
Let me change the layout so we can really see your drone.
I took a fork and I put all the flour inside the big one. Then I will add a little bit of water to the yeast in order to make it easier to absorb it. Livia, of course, shall not do that because she has a fresh one that didn't need the water. Okay. And I'm adding it to the flour. And I start melt a little bit the water with the flour. So don't add the total amount of water at the flour at the beginning, but work with the flour a little bit.
So I'm gonna put maybe half or not even that.
Yes, I use half of the quantity of water. So 350, I use 100, half the quantity. Okay. And then a little bit. I'm starting add to the flour. Can you see it? It's slowly.
Just the water and or the yeast as well.
Just the water and the yeast, and I'm adding water, yeast to the flour and start melting.
Okay.
Then go ahead adding water to the flour. Don't worry if it looks like it's not melting like you are thinking, okay? But go ahead. See, can you have a look at my one? It start melting.
And how much did you put already? All the water?
I already put all the water, Livia.
Okay.
And if I'm noticing that the dough need a little bit more of water, I will add a little bit more of water. So it's something that we can choose to change if we notice that the dough need water. But before adding water, restart melting it. We need that all the flour on the sides of the pan is taken out. So I'm thinking I will add a little bit of water. So it's really not a big amount. It's like one finger. Livia, is it your dough liquid or not at all?
Not at all. I'm still I haven't put all the water yet because I'm doing 1 kilo. I'm going really slow to make sure I don't ruin everything.
Okay. Can you remember my dough before this last finger of water?
Uh-huh.
Now it's like that, so it's ready. I mean, don't need any water anymore.
So it should get loose from the pan, right? From the bowl.
Yes, but not completely. I mean, it must be not liquid, but watery,
Let me see.
sweaty,
Sweaty.
Exact. I mean, look at that. It's not. It's not a dried one. It's sweaty.
Okay. The good thing is that if it's too watery, you can just add more flour, right?
That's, I mean, it's so interesting because what I understand after years of making pizza at home and baking and bread and things like that, it's exactly the dough is talking to you. And also with that recipe, that it's normally not the recipe that the moms do at home, because my moms, when I was young, didn't have the time to prepare a long rising up dough because she had to do a lot of things. So, and normally at home, people do the 6 hour levitation. You start doing it at lunch and rest the dough leaving for 6 hours and then prepare pizza. So when you are doing the two different rising up, the dough is different. For this one, we need a water dough because it takes time and water need to destroy all the proteins and everything of the flour. So let me see your dough, Livia.
Let me show you. Yeah, look.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes. It's exactly like my one.
Perfect.
I show you with the fork.
It's kind of like breaking, but the whole flour is inside. When I do it like that, it comes together, but still it's sticking in the bowl. Like you said, it's not completely.
Yes,
dry.
it's what we want. It's what we want. Also, my one is look.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Now we must leave that dough rest for 50 minutes before starting the second step, that is ripigatura, that is really important. So take the pan and cover it with a little bit of film or with a cotton tissue.
Okay. Cover it with a cloth. So 15 minutes. Even if mine 15. Is 1 kilo of flour, the waiting time should be the same.
So we repeat: 500 kilograms of wheat flour, 6 grams of fresh yeast, or 1 grams of dry yeast, or Livia
Maybe
fresh mother yeast, 3 parts of a big bottle.
I think it's kind of like 100 milliliters for 500 grams, because this looked like 200 milliliters and double the amount of flour. Yeah. So while we are waiting, we have 15 minutes to wait for the dough to raise. I'm asking, like, what kinds of fillings should we use, or can we use? Is there an Italian rule? Because I think, like, around the world, every country has their own way of making pizza, right? What are your recommendations? What is a good thing to think about when we are thinking about pizza fillings or recipes?
So it's up to you. I mean, it's up to your taste and mouth. I would like to say that the original pizza in Italy, and the most eaten one, is for sure margherita. Pizza margherita is basic tomato sauce, mozzarella, and nothing else. So this is the quite basic pizza that everybody used to do at home and buy at the pizzeria. Then, interesting about margherita is that what make a margherita a great margherita? The type of mozzarella you are putting on it, and of course the tomato sauce. But quite normal to have a good tomato sauce in an Italian kitchen. With mozzarella, you must think to buy a good mozzarella. We don't use to put mozzarella di bufala, buffalo mozzarella, like filling on margherita, because buffalo mozzarella is very watery, so it's not the perfect mozzarella to put like filling at the beginning with tomato sauce.
Do you use fresh mozzarella or the ones, because in Brazil we can only buy the full piece of mozzarella? It's kind of like, I don't think it's a good mozzarella. I don't think we can find because I remember when I was traveling in Italy, the mozzarella came in balls, in packages full of water, and this in Brazil is like, I don't know. It's, if I can find it, it's going to be very expensive.
As for everything concerning food, we Italians are the king of quantity of specialities and qualities of cheese and everything. So it's true. I mean, we have a lot of quality of mozzarella. What we used to put on pizza is mozzarella al trancio. That is what you're talking about. You had in Brazil. So big piece of mozzarella that you are cutting in slices.
Good.
I think that this is the best type of mozzarella to put on pizza.
Great.
And
So
you can find good mozzarella al trancio. It doesn't mean it's not good, but it's made for cooking high temperature. So I will use tomorrow a mozzarella al trancio. If you want to use the other mozzarella that you can buy, like big gnocco, I mean like a big bowl with water, yes, too watery for me. I think that the water of the mozzarella go inside the dough, and the humidity of it's not so good. So I prefer that kind of mozzarella.
Also, the tomato sauce that we use as the base, it should be so more like a passata than a watery sauce. Then, right?
I mean, yes, passata.
The texture like a passata, not the texture.
Less water you have on the filling, and better is for the dough. This is my opinion. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to use a little tomato sauce. So different like than a passata. But this is the rule, I think, with pizza. Don't put a lot of watery ingredients on the top of it.
So I've seen pizza made with broccoli or cauliflower. If I'm gonna use that, I must then cook it and then dry it to put it in the pizza then.
Yes. Or you can decide to use vegetables that are fresh, but really cutting in a really thin way, like carrots or don't know.
Carrots? Can I use
Potatoes.
carrots?
I mean, the real pizza romana is made with potatoes. So the base we did with the dough. They cook the base of the dough that we are preparing with the dough, and then they are putting at the end these potato slice cutted before and with olive oil and rosemary.
I didn't know, but that seems too much. I mean, I put flour already, and then I put more potatoes. That kind of it's gonna fill me up too much.
Me too. I never did a pizza with potatoes. It's too much also for me. What I'm thinking to do tomorrow and what I'm going to prepare now while waiting for the dough is pumpkin puree.
I have pumpkin here as well. I can make pumpkin puree.
Did you remember, Livia, we talked about pumpkin last Saturday and blah, blah, blah. So I added this pumpkin from the veggie garden.
Beautiful.
While waiting, I will switch on the oven because I will put half of this pumpkin inside the oven, cooking for 40 minutes with a little bit of oil and salt. So tomorrow I can smash it like puree and put it on the top of the dough.
Good.
This is my idea for tomorrow pizza. So zucca, pizza con zucca e pancetta. Pancetta is the local bacon, and I want to do that because it's really goloso.
I think because I'm making more pizzas, I think I'm gonna make one with pumpkin and one with tomato sauce. So you inspired me. I'm gonna get the pumpkin.
And then I'm going to do also one pizza with radish. And I will cook also radish and onion, because this is autumn time in Italy, and I want to have a little bit of taste of autumn, and the radish gave to me a good taste. So I'm just a little bit, don't know. I must ask to the big boss if that pumpkin is good, because it's not so yellow. Simo,
it's not so
guarda
yellow.
Questa zucca.
Wow.
Sono in diretta.
Sorry,
we were talking about the pumpkin. I'm not sure that pumpkin is a good one.
Really? It's not yellow enough?
I will try to cook it anyway, and then after we will see. So I will not cut the pumpkin in pieces, but I will cook it in that way. What do you think? It's another way. I will put both half of the pumpkins inside the oven with olive oil and salt. I will clean the part in the middle of the pumpkin in order to have a big hole, and then cook it.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same. I don't have so much pumpkin, but I'm gonna make I'm gonna bake it as well. Mine is quite red.
Yes, your one is so great.
Yeah,
In
it was
case the
waiting.
pumpkin is not good, we will do a radish cream or something like that.
So why don't you don't want to use tomato sauce just to subvert the pizza, right?
I will do only, I think, 2 slices with tomato sauce. Because I did pizza on Tuesday to make a test, and we did a full tomato sauce pizza. So this time I want to change, and I also want to do sort of focaccia in case we are not going to eat everything. I can use focaccia the day after. What is focaccia? Focaccia is same dough for pizza, but without the filling. I mean, only olive oil and herbs. This is focaccia.
It's like a white pizza. Not really white
Yes,
pizza.
yes, okay, yes. Pizza bianca. Pizza bianca, it's also called what we. It's a few years that in Italy everything you cook in a different way, it's gourmet. So now restaurants are selling pizza, gourmet pizza for 25, 30 euro. That is, it's gourmet, okay? So they are doing pizza without tomato sauce, but only pizza bianca with these things. Interesting because you can have ideas for some different recipe. Like I saw a great pizza. They suggest to do this pizza with gorgonzola, so blue cheese, and radish, and spianata calabra. That is a typical South Italy salami, really spicy because it's made with chili. So pizza is made for everything. You can do everything with pizza.
Cool. Well, it's almost 15 minutes now. I thought it was going to take longer time, but it feels like we just
Yes,
stopped.
it's true. So I will stop with the pumping so we can do the first ripiegatura. Then everybody can do what they have to do and do the ripiegatura 2 times more.
We still have 2 minutes. I think you can do it. You can still put your pumpkins in the oven.
Oh, thank you.
Checking my dough to see what's happening while they're doing it. It doesn't seem to have changed a lot.
No, because we didn't add the yeast, Livia. We didn't add the salt.
Ah, the salt makes the dough grow.
So, Bonchi say another thing. Always remember not to put salt closer to yeast when you are adding them to the flour, because salt make the yeast stop. So, I take my bowl back. Now, 1 spoon of olive oil. Fork. And start melt.
Mixing it. It seems
maybe for you it will be a really hard job, Livia, because 1 kilo of flour is really a big amount to work with. Do you want to divide the dough? Is it easier for you to divide the dough?
What should I do with this?
I mean, up to you. If you can work easily the dough, doesn't matter. It's only for you. I mean, if you can work with 1 kilo flour, it's okay, yeah.
I never make bread or anything, so I don't know. It's probably going to be hard.
No, no, it's good because we are not making anything else. I mean, my dough is like that, and it's ready to have salt. I will take only a pinch of salt. So,
And the salt is going to make the yeast stop growing.
not stop. If you put together salt and yeast into the flour at the same time, the effect of the yeast it's not ensured. So always better to put yeast and salt separated.
I see.
So
well, yeah, my olive oil is
dough.
in, and then I'm gonna put 1 pinch because I'm making double the amount you're making.
Yes. And I'm taking the wood desk where I'm going to start with ripiegatura.
I'm gonna use this marble board, marble table that I have here.
So I forget to tell to my lovely friends that I'm going to use semola on the desk in order to work with the dough. But don't worry, if you don't have semola, you can use the same wheat you had used for the dough, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna use the wheat because I didn't know you.
I forget to tell you semola. I tell to everybody that we need semola, but not to my lovely friends. So I'm taking the dough out from the pan. Voila.
How much flour should I put here?
I mean, more is good.
Okay.
You will see that the dough asks you for more flour later. So this is good. Put the dough on the desk. Okay, that's so good. And start enlarge it. I mean, put the side of the dough and do like that. Enlarge it. Is it okay? Like I'm saying, I mean, can you understand what I'm meaning? Okay.
What? Show it again.
So from the little dough we have before, I just take the side of the dough away from the center, from the bottom of the dough, trying to have a square dough.
Okay.
And I will start moving one side from here to there. So move the side, the right side in the center of the dough. And then take the other side and move it in the center, like that. Then from the back to the top, from the down to the top, like that.
It looks like a pillow.
Exactly. And last time. So
that's it.
Yes. Then we take the pan again, put a little bit of flour or semola in it. Take the dough. Can you feel how is it different, the texture of the dough now?
It's
I
big.
mean, it's completely different
Yes, it's completely different.
because he had inside the air that it needs to grow. Now, what we need to do is wait other 15 minutes and then do this step again.
Okay.
Then wait 15 minutes and do this step again. So you have to do in total 3 times ripiegatura. That is this step we just made.
Okay.
And you must wait 50 minutes between one ripiegatura and the other.
Okay.
At the end of the ripiegatura
So
steps,
45 minutes.
exactly. And at the end of the ripiegatura step, you will cover your dough with some film, plastic film. It's better to use that one and put the dough in the fridge at the lowest layers of the fridge
Shelf.
and
Okay.
leave it for at least 24 hours.
Okay.
So tomorrow we will meet at 5 p.m. Italy times, and I'm asking you to take your dough out 1 hour before in order to have it at a ambient temperature.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Thank you,
So
Elena.
thank you, Livia. It was such a pleasure to do it with you. And in case you want to do your dough later, like Catherine will do, if you have some questions, don't worry. Send us some messages and we will be glad to help you. Okay?
Okay.
Happy
Bye.
pizza!
See you tomorrow. And broadcast.